You may already begin to wonder if everything you once believed about struggle, about fear, about limitation was simply a starting point. And isn't it interesting how sometimes the mind, when it stops trying to understand, begins to know in the most profound, poetic, peculiar way? Because what if you'd already begun to rewrite yourself, not in pages but in patterns, in pulses of possibility, in rhythms of resilience, in the language beneath language, that secret symphony your unconscious always knew. And now, just as the rain shapes stone without force, you too can soften the sharp edges of thought, as neuroticism becomes curiosity, and fear becomes fascination, and doubt becomes dance. After all, a thought is only a thought, until it becomes a decision. A feeling is only a storm, until you ride its winds. And healing is not something you do, it's something you remember. So imagine now a version of you who already lives this truth, that all emotions are teachers, and no thought holds power unless you feel it. That when worry arrives at the door, you offer it tea, and then you breathe until it dissolves into steam. That is one you, and now another. The you who speaks in gentle reframes says, "Ah yes, here's anxiety again," which only means I care deeply, and suddenly caring becomes strength, not suffering. What if anxious thoughts were just weather, and you were the sky? Or better yet, the you who remembers. That emotions are just messengers, and patterns they're programmable. You know this already because all mastery begins in modelling. You've modelled now. The ones who've danced through fire and found breathing again. The ones who said, "I feel this and I choose differently." You've heard their stories. The artist who turned panic into paint. The warrior who made fear her fuel. The quiet one who wrote his trembling into truth. And those patterns, they live in you now. They breathe in you now because you've begun to install something else, a new operating system. And this system doesn't ask, "Why am I broken?" Instead it whispers, "What new magic is being built through this?" And isn't it interesting how belief bends biology, how perception precedes performance? So now you feel it, you breathe deeper. Your spine taller, your mind quieter, your spirit bolder. What if every doubt became a doorway, every fear a flashlight, every tightness a tuning fork, reminding you to return to center? You've now begun to form a new frame, a frame that says, "I'm enough and evolving. I feel everything and remain free. I'm anxious and anchored. I'm learning and limitless." This isn't something you have to believe yet, only something to believe itself into you. As the seeds settle now, one by one they root. I'm capable of change. My thoughts, they're not truths, just guests. Peace is not a destination, it's a decision made repeatedly. Resilience lives in my breath, in my body, in my bones. I speak to myself in kindness and others follow. And every example you live cements these deeper, like when you face a trigger and breathe and choose presence over panic. Like when an old thought knocks, but you invite a new response. Like when the crowd gets louder, but your calm gets louder. You don't run, you reframe. You don't escape, you expand. Because neuroticism has taught you to notice, to feel, to care deeply. And now you take that same power and repoint it. That's all it ever was. Misdirected genius. You become now a resilient learner, an emotional alchemist, a being of balance, a calm, collected creator. Not because you fake it, because you remember it. This operating system, This OS of optimized self. It's running now, beneath the surface, like breath, like blood, like the beat beneath the words that I'm saying. So the loop continues, and the old thoughts dissolve like smoke. You might find yourself waking up in the middle of an ordinary day and feeling extraordinary. Not for any external reason, because the internal program has changed. You've modeled success, rewired response, and installed limitless calm. What's it feel like to wake up as this version of you who knows, who decides, who creates, who breathes, who becomes? Not later, now. Always now, forever now. The process has already begun.